So I got a lot of comments like this saying we have no evidence that consciousness arises from the brain. We have plenty of evidence that consciousness arises from the brain. First of all, we have substances that can turn your consciousness off. Ever heard of anesthesia? And we've done tons of studies on altering consciousness. In fact, most of our research on, drugs that help things like anxiety and depression come from knowing the chemical processes that alter consciousness and affecting those chemical processes. Plus, we have the entire Human Connectome project, which is all about mapping the human brain and the parts that you can stimulate and alter to alter one's consciousness. We have Christoph Koch's works from the Allen Institute for Brain Science, who has done studies on how sufficiently complex systems create consciousness. You can check out the paper, The Neurophysics of Consciousness by E. Roy John. Tons of information tying consciousness to brain state. Lots of really cool experiments using anesthesia there. Or how about Walter Veit's 2022 study on consciousness? That describes it as a complex system state, which, again, could easily be snapshotted. We've studied consciousness from an AI perspective. Check out the paper, What is Consciousness and Can Machines Have It? 2021, published in Robotics, AI, and Humanity. Here's the thing, that statement? Totally false. We have a ton of information that says consciousness originates from the mind. There's a lot that we still don't know. For example, we don't know if it is exclusive to the brain. It's possible that consciousness can arise from any sufficiently complex system. But we do know how the brain works. We know how neurons work. And we're mapping out the connectome. We're mapping out what part of the brain does what. Which leads me to the big question that every scientist asks for people who say this. If consciousness is not a physical state in our brain, what is it? Because as far as the evidence goes, it looks like it is a physical state in our brain. Changing the physical state in our brain changes consciousness. Shutting down the ability for our brain to communicate amongst itself shuts down consciousness. Permanent damage to a part of the brain can change who you are, can change your consciousness. So if consciousness is not the electrochemical state in our brain, what is it? And why isn't it this thing that we have so much evidence for? Again, there's a lot we don't know about consciousness, a lot we're still studying, but that doesn't mean we know nothing about it. That just means that there's more to learn. That just means that we need to learn more about the brain processes that hold our consciousness. That just means that we need to learn more about the information patterns that might bring rise to consciousness. That just means that we need to learn more about things that can be conscious. But for us, for humans, the consciousness is in the brain meat. We know that because psychiatrists affect the brain meats all the time to affect the consciousness. Who we are is in here. We are an electrochemical pattern inside neurons.